Hello there. Welcome to Press X to continue for September 2025. It's been a fair bit. A lot's happened. We're joined by the usual crew. How you doing, Jason?
Fantastic. How about yourself, Tim?
Doing good. Doing good. We have a lot. Two. Sony and Nintendo had big events, so there's a lot to dive into.
A lot to unpack.
And Microsoft's trying to just kill their generation as quickly as possible. While that's all happening, so that's what's going on. How you doing, Robby?
Doing great. Happy to talk about some games.
Absolutely. Silk Song came out of nowhere since we last recorded, and that's been a whirlwind. We'll talk about that later. I'm 43 hours in. Most people have beaten the game by then, but no, I'm still chugging away on Act 2 here. There's people there's people longer. Yeah, there's people that I've said that are like, 55 hours to 100% completion's like, I'm a little behind on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, first off, the second time in 6 months, Microsoft is raising their prices on consoles. For some reason, they didn't just wait until this time to just do it all one fell swoop. Instead, they did, every 6 months we'll just raise our prices. We're just gonna have fun with that. So it's $800 is the top end. We get 2 terabytes, and that's the same storage amount as a PS5 Pro, which is, a reminder, better hardware than the base PS5 from a spec standpoint outside of SSD space. And then the console that launched for $500 is now $650. So there's that. The Series S, that little guy, the $300 console is now $400. So that's fun. That was the launch price of the PS5.
The Series S price increase is one of the more drastic or surprising, if you ask me. It was already an underpowered piece of tech and barely worth it at the cost that it was by all reporting. And now, I don't think any of those systems are worth their new price.
No.
If As a regretful Series X owner, I can tell you nobody should buy an Xbox Series X at these prices. The best thing about the Xbox is that Game Pass, has some good stuff on it, and I'm trying to think about most of the stuff I've been playing on Game Pass recently would run just fine on the S. But again, like, if they're trying to move to the cloud, I just don't understand the strategy. I don't get it. I read so many mixed reports about what Microsoft is or isn't doing in the future. None of it makes any sense. Did you see today, like, didn't they announce or release today you can pre-order their $1,000 handheld?
Did they have a price point on that? Is that actually announced?
I read $1,000. Do you want to fact check me? I'll Google it.
No, I believe you, but I didn't see a price point yet. I know they've been delaying that announcement forever.
Yeah, I didn't know if they did. That's breaking. They just announced that.
Well, no, it's here. Oh, is it the Alley, right? Is that how you pronounce it? Alley?
The Rogue, whatever.
Okay, Rogue Alley, $900.
Yeah, great.
$999.
It's 2 Switch 2s, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. And the current landscape, the current landscape here: Switch Lite at $230 because Nintendo raised prices recently. Switch at $340, Switch OLED at $399. So you can get either a Switch OLED or a Series S at $399. I'm not sure which is the better buy. Probably.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure which is better out of the two of those.
The Switch has a good library, but a Switch Lite is probably the way to go if you're looking for Switch original. Switch 2 $449, PS5 digital at $500, PS5 disc at $550, Series X digital at $600. So it's a full $100 more than the digital PS5. $650 for Series X with disc, so a whole $100 more than PS5. And PS5 Pro $750, then $800 for the 2 terabyte one. So basically, it's $100 more than PS5. I don't know who in their right mind would be buying an Xbox at this point. Yeah, it's crazy. Especially all the games are coming. All the games are coming to Sony, anyways.
Yeah, but I've never had a generation where it was more. This is just so wild. At this point, I'm not going to buy an Xbox Series X until after that console is dead and I can get it on clearance for my collection.
Oh, the aftermarket is thriving. You can find these things for cheap. People selling them because they're done. They're just
It
Really?
seems like though
Maybe I can
more
jump
and
in
more,
early.
yeah.
yeah, it seems like though more and more of the PlayStation exclusives are eventually making their way to PC and
PC,
Xbox too. I don't
not
really understand.
Xbox, not Xbox. PC.
I guess I'm thinking of like the Final Fantasy 16, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. That's yeah, right.
So PC. I guess that's like not a really new strategy for Sony, but I don't really understand where the next generation is going. To be honest, like I don't really
So
know
yeah. So my
what's
understanding,
going
next
to compel me.
generation. Yeah, here's what I know. What the story in my head is: Microsoft's going to be building out this OS that third parties can also make their own Xbox, probably with this like Windows-based thing, and
Xbox
they've
OS.
Xbox OS basically. It's unclear if backwards compatibility will work at all because if it's Windows, there are legal restrictions that would prevent them from emulating stuff in that way, but we'll see if they figure that out. Sony,
I'm curious what legal restrictions you think there would be in trying to emulate
there's
their own.
there's from what I've understood, there is if you're putting it on Windows and it's just like it's like a Windows wrapper. There's some kind of restriction to like emulation of a Xbox One game is like not in the contract the developer signed basically in some way. They when you buy an Xbox game, they didn't authorize you to play this on Windows basically is my understanding. So maybe they find a way around that. Maybe they
Yeah,
do.
they stream. Their next generation is you started off right, Xbox OS, and everything's an Xbox, and you've got a platform that you can play it wherever, and you just pay a monthly subscription. There'll probably be different tiers where what games you have access to and or how long. Heck, I can't wait for them to decide there's a tier where you only get 10, something like that.
Yeah. And then Sony's approach for next generation, they're focusing on cost, is my understanding. They're going to make this thing as low cost as possible because they're trying to get people from PS4 still to finally upgrade, and they couldn't get the PS5 cheap enough. My understanding, they're trying to do something to make this, they're going to use AI technologies for upscaling and whatnot, but it's going to be a sensible design that's cheaper to ship around the world, unlike the PS5. And it's going to focus on cost, but it's also going to focus on playing where you want to play. So it's going to end up the handheld variety of PS6, where you can buy a handheld that we've told is actually dockable, kind of like Switch 2, which would be interesting. But
Now,
you
if
can
they
also
make a model,
buy.
if that's like
Mhm.
the kind of thing where you have several different models and that's one of them, that's the one I'm getting. I don't care if it's underpowered.
Me too. My thing is I'll have a PS5 Pro. I'll keep that if I want a big. And I don't know if the handheld would be faster in some ways, but I'd keep that as my desktop PlayStation. Then PS6, I would just get the handheld, quite honestly, because that's how I play most stuff, anyways. And then yeah, there'd be a higher end console for the TV and whatnot. And there's speculation, but this is less clear if there would be basically a handheld version of the chipset in a home console. Like if there'd be like a Series S that's basically the handheld without the screen and stuff. That's unclear, but that's kind of what my understanding is of that. And yeah, backwards compatible, of course, with PS4 and beyond, and hopefully they figure out PS3 at some point.
My only concern for their portable is that it's going to primarily try to be another streaming device.
It's local is the design of what we've heard with that. It's a local play system.
I would love for it to be good, be accurate with that. I feel a little burned from the Portal. It's got a good design, a good look, but
that's a streaming device, and the PS6
I understand that
is right. By all regards going to be a local.
I'm just worried. Like I'm just S. I kind of mentioned it was wild. It's so underpowered that it's borderline non-usable for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think Sony learned from that. they learned, hey, you need enough RAM. So the specs on the leak, it's like, oh, this is actually going to be pretty powerful for what they're going to put enough RAM in there, and they're outputting to a 1080p screen, so they don't have to output to 4K. So it'll be, I think they're going to figure it out, and they're doing right now with PS5 the eco mode. I think is a test bed to see, can we run these games at lower power consumption. And that's kind of like they're starting to figure that stuff out now. Nintendo, we're already in the next gen for Nintendo. I mean.
I'm ecstatic, for the record, with all the portable variations of systems coming out. I mean, because I'm old enough. I remember when portables were mediocre enough that the form factors have united, and we're getting these options. So I think I might be more excited for next generation right now than I am or was for the current generation.
Yeah, I'm most excited for the handheld from Sony. That's the most intriguing thing in the world, because I play Switch so much more just because it's a handheld and I don't have to worry about finding TV time or remote play setups. But with that said, yeah. Anything else before we move on?
Do we have a year? Like, are they planning the PS6 for next year yet? Has that even been?
I think 2027 is the earliest we would see this from Sony.
But has anything like rumors been attached, or is that you just guessing?
That's a rumor. 2027, 2028 is what's been talked about. But it might depend on market. They might be like, I don't know. They can't depend on like a change in political stuff or tariffs. But they can. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they would delay it for that. I don't think they would. I think they just go ahead and try to make it as economical as possible.
No, because I mean that would be an easy win next generation if they don't delay for tariffs and have to launch up here because of tariff prices, and then tariffs go away, and all of a sudden
profit.
They can do it. Yeah, well, I mean, I would love for them to reduce.
Yes, reducing price is the dream.
It would be a great PR win.
It would, absolutely. So we should probably dive into the announcements from both Nintendo and Sony, because we're going to run out of time soon enough, I think. We should start with Nintendo, I think. And I just want to focus on our favorite announcements, I guess. Virtual Boy, of course, is the best announcement from the entire Direct, and I'm so excited to get my hands on the Virtual Boy. I've never had one, and I'm ready for this. And I can't hear Jason at all. Yeah. Yeah, nothing, Jason, nothing. So, Robby, are you going to invest in a $100 Virtual Boy for your Switch?
So I have bought nearly every dingus that the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack works with.
I don't controller, all that shenanigans. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I was realizing the other day, though? I completely forgot that they make a Nintendo Entertainment System and a Super Nintendo. I need to pick those up because I don't have those ones, but I have all the other ones. The Genesis, I have and a couple of the N64 ones and the GameCube. Where, by the way, our household is very disappointed that Luigi's Mansion 1 has still not dropped on Nintendo Switch Online, especially the 5-year-old in the house who is obsessed with Luigi's Mansion. So, I don't know.
3DS, is that right? The first one?
What?
The first one, I think,
it's a GameCube.
Well, they did a remaster, I think, on 3DS.
They did a remaster. So 2 is for the 3DS, and then they did a remaster on the Switch.
Well, all of them were recently done in some capacity.
I think the Switch. I think that's what he said. The Switch. I think that's what we confused.
Yeah, I mean, Luigi's Mansion 1 is coming to the GameCube Nintendo Switch Online app. Eventually, it was like I expected it would be a launch title based on how they announced it with the Switch 2, but it's still not out yet. Still not in there.
Originals Luigi Mansion had a remake for 3DS in 2018.
Oh, it did.
The original one.
Yeah, the original game has a 3DS port. I played it. It is very good.
That's interesting.
Did they actually add 3D in there?
Yeah. Oh well, I'm pretty sure. I need to verify. I'm pretty positive they did.
So I have memories of playing the Virtual Boy in Blockbuster when it came
Okay.
out, and it just kind of like being, thinking it was novel, but like I don't have like a lot of affection for the experience. I never owned one. I certainly will buy the cardboard
Okay.
version of it.
Okay.
Which, see, how is that gonna, like, you're gonna shove a Nintendo Switch 2 in there and that's gonna stay on your head? Is that what I'm supposed
Well,
to
you
understand?
hold
There's
it. You basically hold it, and the controllers stay mounted. But you
Oh,
could
so this
also
is
do it.
kind of
You could also do it with an OLED Switch as well, because this works on original Switch. Which that seems to be the best
interesting,
system to do this with. OLED with the black and
right?
reds. I think that'll be the best system actually. And yeah, so
And
the
the higher
cardboard one you hold
resolution.
it up. Cardboard one you hold it up, and then the plastic one, it's got a full. It's got like a. It looks
Well,
like it's more than just plastic. It's got like the cushions
yeah,
and stuff, and it feels
yeah.
like it might be more ergonomic.
I was just gonna say, holding it up to your face sounds uncomfortable, but it can't be more uncomfortable than the actual Virtual Boy, which is also
Right.
known for being very uncomfortable. There it is.
Now, what I'm excited for is it seems like Captain Toad and other VR games for Nintendo Switch, like Breath of the Wild, it's potentially there where you could use Virtual Boy to play VR games on your Switch too. So that seems
Yeah, I don't
interesting.
the full thing, and I love it. Really looks like they took it, and this section right here, they just make it flip open, but it has to be bigger because I mean, I wish I had a switch here so I could show you the size difference. I mean, this thing is only maybe 4 inches
Yeah,
tall.
so it's gonna be taller,
So
right? Yeah.
so it's not going to be quite the same form factor, but Virtual Boy, what I was trying to say earlier, it seems like most of the internet is anti. They think this is a little bit ridiculous. I
It's
am
amazing. It's the most
absolutely
Nintendo thing in the world.
I think it's awesome. I just won't buy it.
love with it. The only criticism I've heard that is semi would be it would be great if they just put the games on Nintendo Switch on and let people play them in 2D if they wanted. But
Sure.
that having
The
been
other thing
said,
is
I
let's buy the Virtual Boy controller as well.
thank you. That's what I was about to say because, like, have either of you even seen the Virtual Boy controller?
It's two D pads. I've never really seen it though. That's what I've heard though.
It has two D pads, two triggers, and then two face buttons on each side. It is a complete symmetrical controller. It is lovely to hold. I absolutely love it. And I need them to release that so I can buy that too to go with the Virtual Boy that I'm going to put it into.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yeah.
I am
I'm excited.
absolutely
Yeah.
stoked. I'm not getting the cardboard version. I'm throwing down $100, and that's going to become the new home to my old Switch.
Are you
It's
gonna,
just
yeah,
going to
the
stay there for display.
OLED Switch will live in there, and I'll use it for that. And then I do want to try Breath of the Wild on Switch 2, the 4K, and see how that runs in that thing. That could be fun.
I never played it 3D at all. Have you even tried that at all?
I think for 5 minutes because I didn't like the cardboard setup. So maybe this
Yeah,
Virtual Boy
no.
setup might be better.
What about you, Robbie? Did you
Um,
try the 3D mode
the
in?
Labo VR.
No, never tried it.
Okay. Galaxy 2 and Galaxy 1 hit pretty soon next week. 35 each if you buy them together, or 40 individually. I think Nintendo's
Yeah,
got me, even though I own these on Wii and my Wii U, and I have the All Stars collection for Switch. But
I
it seems
I
like they're
have
doing
that
four. Yeah,
also. I wasn't gonna buy either of these, but I think I am gonna buy two for $40, even though that's not a price I'm comfortable with.
yeah. They're amazing. They're some of the best games ever created. So for that angle, it's like it's quality, and they're doing 4K upscales and some stuff. I ordered the storybook for $25. That's gonna be a nice book to read with my daughter. That'll be a fun one, I think.
yeah. I saw it
So they're
already sold
yeah.
out. I'd love to try and get it just for my collection, but I'll probably just have to wait for it to come out and see if I find it somewhere like
Yeah, they'll probably
Barnes
do
and Noble.
restocks, I'd imagine. And it's on. I'm waiting to do the bundle purchase until I know if they'll update the Super Mario All Stars I doubt they will, but if they do,
They're not
that would
going to at
change.
this point. If they're
No.
already releasing it at cost, at most
4K upscale
DLC
version.
No, I'm just saying at most you get a $40 DLC to include Super Mario Brothers 2 at the same cost of buying it by yourself.
Galaxy 2. No, yeah, I was
I'm
wondering
sorry,
about
yes,
the
Mario
Galaxy 1's the curious one, if they would do any tweaks or updates to the collection. But yeah, you're probably right. So I'm very excited about that. And the movie was just a teaser trailer. Mario Tennis looks rad. It's got a story mode. I love a good story mode in a sports game.
The last Mario Tennis was wildly disappointing, though.
Yeah, this one looks like they are firing all cylinders. So hopefully that's true.
I didn't catch. Did it go back to Camelot as the developers? Because weren't they the developers back in the day, or am I thinking Mario Golf?
No idea. I thought Camelot was out of business, but I might be wrong.
Okay, because I mean, like the sports franchises have been the Mario sports franchises have been so hit or miss. They really are. And the last one on tennis, especially, was a miss, a definite miss. And part of the problem, but part of the problem is something that Nintendo hasn't gotten over yet. Is Nintendo just aim right? They don't. They make it difficult for matchmaking and finding people and playing with friends that you want to play with and everything like that. I mean, we were recently, the three of us, talking about how in Mario Kart World, it took an update for them to allow you to play the whatever mode with your friends.
Yeah, Knockout Tour. Yeah.
Yeah, Knockout.
Oh! Since last recording, you now have a Switch 2. Good. You like the system overall?
I very much do. I keep looking for excuses to try and see if the mouse functionality will work either on this game or this screen or whatever like that. Because I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. That is the functionality that I want to see get put to use the most. I really do.
Did you try out the SNES games?
No, I didn't try out the SNES game.
Okay. I think Cyberpunk does support it if you get that one day.
Really?
Civilization, of course. Yeah, Cyberpunk supports mouse controls.
Which Civilization? 6 or 7? Did they release 7 or are we
7?
Okay.
There's a Switch 2 version.
Damn. Yeah, because I have Civ 6 for Switch 1. I just don't know if I want to buy Civ 7.
Yeah, you can get a cartridge for cheap maybe one day, and then it's $10 to upgrade.
Yeah.
Yep. Prime 4 got a release date of December 4th. It's coming. The big disappointment, no 2 or 3 come on the Switch, it appears. It's just like, if you never played those,
that out yet.
Maybe next year, though. It seems like not before release date.
Yeah, definitely not before release date, but I'm not going to rule it out altogether. Internet scuttlebutt, a lot of people keep about what they're seeing in regards to Prime 4. Where do you guys fall?
I love it. It is a Switch game that is being up-resed for Switch 2. That's not new information. People seem to think that this is designed first for Switch 2. It's like, no, this is a beautiful Switch game that's going to run at 120, whatever, 1080 on Switch 2 or 4K, whatever, 60. And looks great.
You're just saying numbers at this point, Tim?
Sure. But I think it'll be great. I'm excited for it. The bike looks rad.
I've liked the things that I've seen. The bike did look good. I'm actually going to go in a weird direction, and that is, I personally felt one of my problems with Breath of the Wild was just how empty it constantly felt everywhere. Whereas I think that will be beneficial to the ambiance that has been the Metroid series over time. It's to explore constantly and not run into things or run into very little things because they're purposefully placed in places is a very Metroid thing. So I'm not worried about an open world that I'm traveling. I actually think it'll be a real step in the right direction for them. A good course correction from my personal experience with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. And then Yoshi looks rad. Mysterious Book. I'm excited for that. That'll be fun to play with my daughter, I think.
I think my kids particularly the older one, will really get into that.
Yeah. No, I love the Yoshi games. They're just so delightful.
And one's like is their new was the Kid franchise. It's changed a little bit. That it's super easy, but the Yoshi, heck, wasn't it Yoshi's Crafted World? I mean, there were levels you could just beat by holding right. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it was, and I mean, I get kids need games too. I really do. I just, especially for a mascot character like that, that's so big for the company, and how many adult fans appreciate and remember, it would be nice if the games were a little more appealing to slightly old. Saying that I'm slightly older or anything.
Right. So all the Resident Evil games are coming to Switch too, it appears. 7, 8, and 9 all coming on the same date, February 27th.
Yeah, that's a weird decision.
They should sell a triple pack. They should sell like a bundle.
The Resident Evil games have all been bundled in so many weird different ways that's not actually an unreasonable request.
Imagine a physical release where you have 3 cartridge slots in the little case you open up.
I would love that. I would pay more for that. I would. I understand that the cartridges cost the companies extra money, but you want to anything on multiple cartridges as a collection like that? Maybe I'm just weird. That sounds cool to me.
That'd be cool. They'll never do it, but that'd be cool.
No.
Yeah. I played 7 and 8. Wait, I've not played 7 yet. Actually, I've tried it and gotten too scared. I played 8 and loved it, and I played 4 and loved that.
Did you play through 8 in VR? I don't remember.
Yeah, entirely in VR.
Is 8 the one that's really like a VR game? I thought that was 7.
Both of them.
7 and 8 and 4. I played 4 only in VR on PSVR 2.
Really?
Yep.
What
I've never
about
played it flat?
I don't remember in the announcement for 9. Are they supporting VR still?
Not announced yet. That will probably be announced later. It's normally not announced before the game comes out for some reason.
Oh no! 8 we knew like all along.
We knew. Okay, yeah, we have not heard yet.
7 was such a big deal that when 8 came out, they made
yeah. We know 9 is playable in first person or third person. We also know that Final Fantasy VII remake is coming out on January 22nd, and they announced 2 and 3 of that series will also come out on Switch 2. So the full remake will be there, which is cool.
Was this the Nintendo show? They announced The Adventures of Elliot or something along those lines. I really don't remember the title.
And there's a demo. It's basically a Legend of Zelda.
To say, that brought it up because I was interested in the game. It's made by Square Enix. They're one of my favorite developers, so I had to download and try the demo. And I put some time into it, and I even put that on my, I can talk about it now, but that's on my now playing. It really is. It plays like Zelda.
Yeah, I downloaded it, but have not tried it yet.
Highly recommend, and it's beautiful too. It's like if they made Zelda with the Bravely Default 2D HD 2D, whatever they want to call that thing, style graphics from Bravely Default, and or some of their other new games, but as Legend of Zelda, it was great, and it controls smoothly, very nicely.
Yeah. Are you getting Pocopedia when it comes out? The Ditto game where you're...
That is definitely one of my top 2 or 3 most exciting moments of
Animal Crossing with Pokemon.
I texted it to my wife immediately, and I said, "Is this finally a Pokemon game you'll play?" And she was like, "I'm afraid that it might be, yes."
I'm afraid that it might be. Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah, no, actually, I'm kind of excited for that, but I can say that multiple members of my family are way more excited for that than I am. But as a huge Pokemon fan, I'm definitely going to have to buy it to own it just because I'm that kind of person, but also give it an honest try because even most of
Mm-hmm.
the Pokemon spin-off games are good to play.
Yeah, no, looks interesting. Does anyone care about Fire Emblem? Have you heard of the series?
I wish I
Did
did.
y'all play the? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was
I
just going to ask you how many of those on the Switch titles y'all have played. But go say your thought first.
well, that's the problem is I haven't played any. It was getting redone and becoming a big deal in America again. 3DS. I played multiple entries on the 3DS. Heck, the most expensive game in my collection is the Fire Emblem Fates Special Edition, the collector's edition that has all three versions as separate cartridges. Whole other thing there. Fire as I want to like, but I just can't. It's got part of the same problem that I have with Breath of the Wild. They've always had the breaking and limited use weapons mechanic, and that is just the most asinine video game mechanic in the world. I hate it. I don't care for any games that have that. And then there's the basic weapon triangle that they try and do that just gets annoying having to deal with. Playing games like that, it's hard to explain because I mean, Pokemon has triangles and types, but I have no problem doing that. But Fire Emblem is so rigid in the just how bad their triangle is for your advantages and disadvantages, and I want to like it. I really do.
Yeah, I don't like them. I played Fire Emblem Awakening. I think that was a 3DS game, right?
Yes.
And yeah, it was fine. But yeah, no interest in this at all.
I love these games. I haven't played that many of them, but I've really enjoyed Awakening. I loved. Three Houses is one of my favorite Switch games that I've played. Um, I've dabbled in one or two of the others.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think this probably was the most likely game that I would, other than Pokemon, that I would really sink my heels into.
Not too
Assuming
have-
it's good. Like I'm a little bit cautious about them. Like the last one, for example, is apparently has pretty good combat, but not great storytelling or style.
Yeah.
What is that one called? The one that's not Three Houses.
It's the one everyone hates.
Everybody
No,
though
I'm,
who
I'm
hates it, whenever it's being hated on an internet forum, somebody likes to jump in and say, "Well, actually, like the gameplay is pretty good. They just really like messed up the story," which is fair enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I also, I mean, is that I want to like them more, but it's a combination of multiple systems within the game that are just make.
Three Houses has that thing that I really have been turned on to in recent years, or it's like that persona thing where there's like the time management, social kind of like comforting A side of the game, and then the B side is the combat, and they sort of interplay, like the relationships affect the combat formations and perks and things. That was kind of the part of it that I think I liked the most. But
Mm-hmm.
There, I'd like to ask about. You said that the time management is comforting. I feel like those time management mechanics, I feel like are whole. Every time they come up, it's asking me what part of the content don't you want to get to experience
right.
this time. Like that is another. I didn't even think about that system. I mean, there's a game actually. One was mentioned in the Switch showcase, if I remember correctly. You played any of the Danganronpa games? They're
Nope.
they're Japanese like visual novel style, but they're not. It's hard to explain, but they do that time management as well. You know, feel like because I know they're giving me more choices than it is possible to be able to experience, and there are plenty of people that like it. I'm not a want to replay a game just in case this character had a line that that's not where I get my fun in games. So it just makes me feel like I'm missing out on content so much because like I enjoyed Detroit Become Human, and that, I mean, those narrative games like the Telltale games are all about what you miss out, but I play those one time and that's my story. But Fire Emblem not being such a structured narrative with what it's doing with that stuff, just like Persona, it's not really structured. It has effect, but it's not structured in the same way. I just feel like I'm missing out versus this is my story.
Well, anything else on the Nintendo Direct before we move on to Sony?
Nothing on the Direct, but Robbie, I meant to ask when you were talking Sega controller. Is it the 3-button or the 6-button?
3-button.
Did I agree with that?
The 3-button controller, Jason.
Sorry, the 6-button. Fighting.
Okay, I think you're back. You basically need to move to a city with internet, Jason.
Happening. It's like I've got a mesh Wi-Fi network, and it feels like the whole thing is just constantly resetting on me.
Yeah, no, I know what's going on. Before we move to Sony, I just want to highlight Star Wars Outlaws on Switch 2, shocking the world that this ray tracing based game is running amazingly well on the Switch 2, and in some cases better than the Series S, and it gives a lot of hope for other ports if developers put the time into it. I bought it to show my support and eventually play it, and pretty cool. And they got the file size down. It's not a crazy huge game file size wise. They did smart compressions. Yeah. So, anyways, any thoughts on that before we move on to Sony?
I wish I liked the Star Wars games more. The only Star Wars game I really got into was Star Wars.
Was which one, Jason?
Star Wars
Okay. Did not come through again. Force Unleashed, though, I believe is your answer, because I think I've heard you talk about this. The second one, I believe.
I enjoy that. I think the online multiplayer, the one that's kind of like Battlefield, but with like lightsabers and stuff, is apparently like very popular on Xbox and PC right now. It's on Game Pass. I've thought about I've got some friends who play Halo weekly, and I'm just like, every now and then I dip in, but I'm just like not really that into that. But for whatever reason, the same gameplay style, but lightsabers, I think I could be down with.
For sure. Yeah.
I keep meaning to recommend it. I think that game. Which one am I thinking of? There's like
Battlefront.
Battlefront is the one. Yeah.
That's such a confusing series because on PlayStation 2, there's Battlefront 1 and 2. And then
I think so. 2, I think, is the one that's been popular recently.
They just released. So those games, Battlefront 1 is on PS2, Battlefront 2 is on PS2, I believe. And then EA is like, let's just name the games identical to what we did before, but for current hardware. It's so weird they didn't call that Battlefront 3 and 4 or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
So Sony had a banger of a showcase, I thought. They opened with Saros, which is the Returnal basically 2 with a different IP. And Returnal is one of my favorite games this entire generation. It's masterclass in gameplay. It's masterclass in 3D audio and haptics, and it's such a compelling game. And it seems like Saros improves upon this to make it more approachable for people that were just too frustrated with the progression and all that and difficulty of the first one, while remaining still hard and still it looks fun. So I'm excited for this thing.
I missed Did they say it's an actual sequel? Like
It's a
story?
spiritual successor. It is not related at all in story. Spiritual successor. But gameplay looks very similar and all that. March 20th, so coming soon. Yes, very
I
excited.
guess I got to play the first one.
You should. You definitely should.
You've very much sold me on it. It just has not risen to the top of my list. But yeah, it's installed to the PlayStation.
It's amazing. It's one of the best PS5 showcases. It was, and it's now a first-party studio, but when that was created, they were not a first-party studio. Flight Simulator 2024. I love how there's a year, and they did. Why does they do that? It sounds like an old game at this point. They should call it something else.
Just call it Flight Simulator.
Right, yeah. But it's coming to PS5 on December 8th, and a PSVR 2 mode is in development, which that has me very excited.
Yeah, I'm not buying it until the PSVR 2 mode comes out. But when that comes out, I've already got. I actually literally earlier today dug out my HOTAS. I'm ready to go. I cannot wait.
Yeah, because Gran Turismo is great in VR. I can only imagine Flight being that much cooler.
Yeah, and it's also a case of games like that, especially with VR, they are better with additional controllers to really get lost in
Imagine some head haptics in that thing as you're taking off. Yeah, that'll be great. It's interesting for Microsoft to be supporting VR because they don't really care about VR
on their own
Xbox, on their own stuff. Yeah. I mean, Wolverine was the closer, and that was
it opened and closed so perfectly.
It did. Such a bloody masterpiece of what we saw. It's like, yes, you have to have this bloody and gory, and is this gonna be rated M for mature? Probably. Yeah.
I mean, they were talking about the blood physics. Yeah, they're going for M.
They're like having claws go through people's head. Yeah, it's great. I'm so excited for this. And that's coming out next fall, I believe. Yeah, that looks just phenomenal. Yeah, it's cool to see it. Insomniac, great studio. So I'm excited to see
Were you watching Wolverine feeling like he was moving like Spider-Man?
It was very fluid. But yeah, I don't know. There will be a lot of costumes like Spider-Man, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
And the story should be pretty interesting to see how that progresses. Also interesting since he regenerates health and he can't die. It's kind of like the challenge of a Superman game, like. That'll be interesting to see how that goes.
I see the can't die just becoming a rewind mechanic. Like if you die, you rewind as you are healing and you just get to do it again. And his healing will be just like Spider-Man where you go long enough without taking a hit and it's
kind of like Call of Duty games, right?
Yeah.
And then they introduced the actor playing Wolverine and all that, and it's not Hugh Jackman, which that would have been a move. But I'm glad it's someone else. You know, can you imagine if they got Hugh Jackman for this game? That'd be wild.
They've been getting big names for video games for quite a few years.
They have. This isn't an actor that some people know of. I'm not.
Okay, and as cute as it would be to have Hugh Jackman, I have to say, I think. Not only is it obvious that they didn't want to spend that kind of money, this isn't that Wolverine. I'm pretty sure this is the Wolverine from the Ultimate Universe who goes by James more than he goes by Logan. His actual name, even in the trailer, they introduce him as James Logan Howlett, which is Wolverine from the Ultimate Universe, which is just a whole other thing. I don't know for people that
sound like a comic book geek or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of my nerddoms. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts before we move on to one of the things I was most excited about yesterday, and that's hardware.
Yeah, that hardware.
So Pulse Elevate ultra low latency speakers, desktop speakers. So I play my PS5 Pro at my desk. It's at my desk because I don't have a TV to call my own. And I always play with headphones. I've got the Pulse Elite right now, and I have the Explorer as well from Portal. And I've looked into I want to get speakers one day for this setup down here. That seems great. I never get to hear the speaker of my DualSense, even though some games do cool things with it, and I kind of want to experience that. But with headphones, you never do. So they're introducing these Pulse speakers. They're for the desktop, but they sit on a magnetic charging base, and you can just grab them and bring them into a different room to use with your Pulse, with your PlayStation. What's it called? What's the portable? The Portal. You can play with the Portal over Pulse, which is cool. And you could also just play with your Switch over Bluetooth, or you could just use the new USB-C dongle. Just plug that thing directly into your Switch if you wanted to. Yeah.
It didn't list the Switch. It said for
it would not. Yeah, but it does. I use the Pulse. I use these headphones.
I was only
Switch
asking.
too. Yep.
Yeah, I was only asking.
Basically, anything that uses USB-C or USB-A protocols can work with it. So iPad, Mac, the Switch works with this. I've used the headphones on the Switch with that dongle. So, and anything Bluetooth, you can also work with it for the less high quality stuff. So, the cool thing about this stuff is you could send your so the speakers as well as the headphones. You could have your game audio plus like a podcast playing, which is cool from your phone, same time. It's pretty neat. But I'm curious if they will come in a little carrying case like the like Sony offers with their Edge controller, and also the Fight Stick's gonna have a case. Since
God,
you're moving around with these things,
Frack.
I wonder if there will be a case for these things. And there will be
doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but man, seeing those speakers makes me think of the old 90s computer LAN days, and man, it hit me in the nostalgia really hard.
Yeah. No, it looks like, and then, like nice little desktop speakers that are, I don't think there's an auxiliary input. This is all wireless, but the Link's so versatile. Like, basically, my Thunderbolt dock has that dongle. And anything I plug that dock into works with my headphones. So when I'm playing Switch 2 docked on the monitor here, works with that. When I have my iPad or Mac's plugged into it, I'm obviously connected there. And basically, all your stuff will work with it, which is neat. And the white seems to be a limited run, so I kind of want the white speakers.
Ooh, I don't know what color on the speakers I would want because I like the black, but white. I've got everything else white. For the PS5.
The old PS5 is white. So
yeah.
It seems like I should get this white too.
But
and
like,
you can angle them as well to have the optimal sound where you're sitting, which is nice.
I see those speakers living well past and well outside. Like, I feel like those speakers should be more Sony branded than PlayStation branded, maybe.
I mean, PlayStation is Sony at this point. That's their main profit center. And this will, of course, work with PS6 and future systems.
Well, that's my point,
Yeah. Robby, you have any interest in the speakers like this? Is this?
They seem really cool. I don't know where they would fit in because, like, in my studio, I got like studio monitors wired in my TV in the living room where I play. I've got the Sonos set up.
Right. So you already have your speaker situation solved.
You're making me think of something that's not Sony or game related necessarily, but like I do. What I've been doing lately is now that all of my consoles that I play regularly have a pro controller of some kind that you can wire into. I have a wire at the side table in our living room, and I like wire in these AirPods Max that I'm wearing to all of my game controllers. But what I've been thinking is, like, if I wanted to eliminate the wire and make things a little more streamlined, I have been eyeing these Sonos headphones since they launched, basically, which just would sync to the soundbar of the TV and then take the audio wirelessly. I'm not sure what the microphone. I don't think Bluetooth headphones of any kind can do the microphone for a PlayStation or an Xbox.
No, they can't.
I've done game chat. My TV is really far away from the couch, and I have had the Switch 2 docked and done a game chat with the AirPods Max, and the person on the other end said I was very clear. And I don't know, like, there's not a microphone in the Pro controller for Switch 2, is there?
Nope. You can have a
I
headset in.
haven't.
You can have headsets in. They're hooked up to it though.
So I was listening to him through these.
That
He
might
must
have
have just been
carried
hearing my
through.
voice through all the way across the room, in which
It
case
could.
it's
Well, the
very impressive.
Max. It might have been through the Max
You
actually.
think it was picking that up? I didn't think that was.
It's
Uh,
possible. I don't know what that adapter's like for that, but
hmm.
the Pro controller can work with headsets.
Well, all of this is to say, I have slightly different needs and definitely some problems I'd like to resolve with my
Hmm.
audio gaming setup, but I don't know
This would do it. Yeah.
that this would necessarily do it. They seem cool though.
Yeah. It's like a lot of people. I was like, what's Sony doing here? But it's like this is actually kind of a problem for a lot of people. I think like just like nice, good, small speakers that I like the flexibility of this with how they're using Link many places. Yeah.
I don't currently game at a desk like you do, Tim.
Hmm.
But I will tell you that seeing those speakers made me contemplate it.
Yeah. No. I love being at the I would enjoy a nice couch and huge 80-inch OLED and all that stuff, but I gotta say just at the desk is you're focused in. You're working on a Silk Song boss. It's nice to be up close to the monitor and just like, doing your thing. So no price point. Do we think this is 350 or do you think it's higher? How crazy does this thing get?
Just the speakers?
Yeah, how they're not gonna be too crazy, you don't think, right?
I'd be surprised if they reach 200.
Okay. It's Sony.
Like I'm gonna say 150.
Okay. I hope you're right. Because I'm
I
thinking
and
at
I actually
least
think because they're just speakers. We're not talking the headphones, anything else fancy. I even think 150 might be a bit much because
you
we're
think
talking.
speakers are less expensive than a headphone because you're not miniaturizing stuff, right? It's got the charging bases.
But it's also not a 2.1. There's not a special dedicated
There's no
subwoofer, multiple
subwoofer.
channels. This is about as basic without being literally basic when you consider that it's a new technology, but it's like trying to make the most basic of a new technology with their whatever their wireless protocol they're calling it.
Yeah,
Um,
Link.
yeah, Link, thank you. Um, I would be I'll be beyond surprised if it reaches 150, less yet more than that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited for these things. Anyways, state of play stuff. Back to that game announcements. The one where Chronoscript the Endless, what is it? Endless End seemed very interesting. That art style looked cool. In like a book or something.
Visually, yeah, it looked nice, but I watched that going, I don't think I'd enjoy this game.
Yeah. And then
I,
made a random controller announcement of God of War. But yeah, anything else worth mentioning before you get into what we're playing?
only thing I want to say about that controller, which I'm tempted, but I don't really buy special edition controllers. Was it was funny. My wife, who doesn't even game, just as soon as it was coming, even she, as soon as she saw that stripe, was like, "What is it? A God of War controller?" Just because his look, his tattoos,
Uh-huh.
just that is so iconic. My non-gaming wife immediately guessed it War controller, and that was phenomenal.
That's pretty good. That's pretty
Yeah,
good. Yeah. So we should get into what we're playing, right?
that sounds good.
Okay. So Robby, tell us about the original Hollow Knight, as well as Jason, I guess.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear your thoughts if you've been digging in. I mean, the Silk Song hype was getting serious, and so I bought it. But I remembered when I first subscribed to Game Pass 2 years ago, this was like the first game I tried, and I remember thinking, "Wow, this is really nice and fun," but not getting very far. So I thought, you know
Mhm.
what, I should do what everybody on the internet is telling me to do, and just saying Hollow Knight is actually very good, so you don't need to skip out on it. So I opened up my file, and it turns out I was like just on the brink of like getting a couple of cool moves unlocked. And once you unlock the first couple of moves, this is probably if you're finding this with Silk Song too, it really starts to take off. It's
Oh yeah.
really quite hard. I feel like these 2D games can afford to be precise in a certain kind of way that
Mm-hmm.
other games can't. Like it's really challenging me. I already know about some of the really hard stuff in the game that's optional, and I've already decided I'm not going to do it. Like some of the really like platforming stuff that gets into like Super Meat Boy territory is not for me. I do think though the exploration, the world building, the art style, the music, some of the challenging boss fights, like all of that stuff is really very, very attractive to me, and I'm having a very good time.
Good. Yeah, I've heard it's a slower pace than Silk Song as far as the character movement and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't played enough of Silksong to comment because they both start fairly slow. But I'm with you. I mean, it took me several hours to kind of for it to get off the ground. But everybody is like, oh yeah, this game is like 20, 30 hours. I'm at like 40 or 50 hours, and I'm at the last boss, and I have not done everything. I struggled with a particular boss every night last week. I don't remember if we were recording when I said that earlier, but like, and then the several days of the boss before that was a mandatory boss.
So, according to How Long to Beat, the main story of Hollow Knight should be 27 hours.
Yeah, no, not for me.
I
uh,
should look at Silk Song and see what they say for that. Um,
I am playing Hollow Knight 1. Before I give my input, Tim, I'd love to hear you and Robby continue to talk about Silk Song, especially in comparison to Hollow Knight.
and it's fun. How Long to Beat for Silk Song? They say 39 and a half hours for main plus extra. I'm at 43 and a half hours. I'm not even done with Act 2. So, as they say, these games are very variable as far as skill and how much exploring you do. So,
yeah,
I've never played the original Hollow Knight. Silk Song was coming out. It's like, seems like the story, I'd be okay just starting with the Silk Song. And then if I love it, I'll go back to the original. So, that's what I did. Is there.
I've heard that Silksong is much harder, but I've found at least in the early hours of it that it's pretty generous with the benches, which is the main complaint I've heard about it, is that there are not that many checkpoints. So I don't know if it just has a really big appeal because it was so anticipated and maybe people are playing it who aren't used to this kind of challenge. Or maybe it just steeply gets way harder much later than where I'm at.
I mean, there are some crazy, stupid bosses in this game that are just like, what
That's
the
what I hear.
The builds, though, you can really customize Hornet to many different move sets, and it's been fun customizing. The exploration, the maps are very fun to explore, and I've all the health upgrades for through Act 2, so I'm feeling stronger, but still, you can get wiped out pretty quickly. But the
Yeah,
joy
that
of
map,
Silk, yeah,
the map exploration part of it is very similar in Hollow Knight. I'll say that. So if you like
mm,
that part of it, you will have a good time in Hollow Knight.
okay. Are the enemies similar with all the bugs and stuff?
Very similar art style. Everything is everything bugs in
Okay.
Silksong. It's
I mean,
kind
it's
of
very
like that.
cathartic squashing bugs. I mean, um, the it has the Dark Souls thing of like most of the time you eventually by the time you're done with the 3 hour journey of defeating this boss, like this last one I just did towards the end of Act 2, I ran my head against this for like 2 or 3 hours, and this last time when I beat it, I barely took any damage, and I had like full health when I finished. Like I just I took you out. I knew what you're up to. I mastered you. And it's that Dark Souls thing of like you master a boss, eventually you know what they're gonna do. You can get out of their way and do your attacks when you need to. And the thing about Silk Song that I'm really enjoying are all these side quests and the NPCs, which I believe there's not that really in Hollow Knight, where you're going on these side quests and gathering materials and just searching out different things in the game from that.
Okay, my turn.
Yes. Go. Oh, the music, I must say. Oh,
Great,
incredible.
so great in both games. And in fact, I didn't think it could
Incredible.
get better than Hollow Knight, but Silksong immediately is just like a little bit higher tier in the production, and I was super impressed with how strong it starts.
And I love Chakra, the singing of Chakra. You know, you're near the map vendor. It's like, it just that part, and then the fleas crying for help. It's like, oh, there's a flea nearby. Go ahead, Jason.
I know how I've sounded for a lot of this episode, so I'm going to try and be dance a really fine line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and actually, before I even get there, this will shock neither one of you. I have no idea what this game sounds like. So I don't know.
Oh no, you play with the volume off, Jason. This is a headphone game. This is a headphone game.
Listening to an audiobook while playing.
No,
I do this for a lot of hard soulsy kind of games, but not for this one, just because I feel like the atmosphere is
so good.
But I'm with you though. I do that. I do play with the sound low or off for quite a lot of games.
So exempting the sound, because I know nothing about that.
Oh, I must say, Silksong, the haptics on the Joy-Con 2 are damn impressive. It's like DualSense level of implementation. You're feeling everything, and it's so good. It makes me excited for future games that really can take advantage of it. So go ahead, Jason.
Have you ever seen a game that you look at everything and you go, oh, like for example, visually, I love the way it looks. I love the art style. I love the choice of the bugs and how they went there and just the way it's all done. But have you ever looked at a game that you look at all the components, and while you appreciate the components and you see why everybody else likes it, you're just not having fun?
Yeah, I forget which game that's happened for.
Here's the deal. Hollow Knight, I don't find it difficult. I really don't. I've been playing through the bosses. I mean, you play enough roguelites and 2D, you know, it's just you get it going, right? It's like first time I went by a spike pit that was longer than out my Shovel Knight, another game I don't care for, and did the downward strike to bounce on the spikes.
Shovel Knight is so damn good.
You know, so I mean, I understand the logic of the game. I hate with every part of my being the fact that you have to pay for something to let you see where you are on the map. That's ludicrous. That is just absolutely ridiculous. And the only thing it did is take fun away from the very early part of the game because it made it more frustrating to know where you are. That is one outright complaint.
Not only that, you have to have it equipped in a slot in your
that is lame.
That is a decision that I can look at and say, no, they made a couple of, I don't have a problem with hard, even if it was hard, which I'm not finding it.
Yeah, the compass is ridiculous because I'll unequip it when I'm going to a boss fight to do other things. But yeah.
In terms of the mapping and your location on the map, they made so many poor decisions in regard to that I viscerally hated starting for it, trying, because maybe it's just the way that I play games. I felt like I was having to keep entirely too much of the map in my head until they finally decided, okay, you've proven that you know your left and your right. Now we'll let you spend money and waste an equipment slot for us to tell you where you are. It is a very basic decision that I don't care for. I'm getting to like or appreciate, or at least not hate, how Hollow Knight responds, how, you know, like when he attacks somebody, his bounce back, it's annoying to deal with at times. Now that I'm getting used to it, okay, I accept it's just a decision they've made. So again, there's a lot of things, and it's snappy, it's precise. I'm playing Hollow Knight 1 on the Switch 2. I don't know if there was an update or if you have to pay for it or what. I'm just saying that's what I'm playing and how. If there was an update that was free, then I probably have it. If there was an update that you have to pay for, I don't have it. Because I bought Hollow Knight 1 when it first came out and just never played it because I got lost in Dead Cells instead. And I'm going to keep playing because I don't know how many hours I've played. I'm horrible about tracking my hours on a game. It's starting to, and I want to see it through to completion. But Robby is somebody.
Silksong, the save screen, when you go booting it back up, it tells you how many hours you played.
Yeah, I mean, okay, but
another cool thing about Silksong, you can. There's an option to go back and like the auto saves. It's like, do you want to play from the beginning of Act 2 or when you got this new ability? I would never probably do that because it would overwrite my progress. But it's kind of cool. Like, here's the moment this happened, all the way back from the beginning of the game, which is neat.
Okay, but speaking of Silk Song, let's start with honest question: is the map? Do you have to buy a piece of equipment to see where you are again?
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah,
I can tell you that unless something changes in the next several dozen hours, I still intend to try and give Hollow Knight. I don't think I'll be playing Silk Song.
And that's the annoying bit of the game, but I still freaking love it. Like, there's annoyances, but it's such a well-crafted game in every regard.
And I see that. Hollow, I don't know what the character's officially name is. I don't know if he's Hollow. I don't know if he's Knight. I know
Hornet
that later
is the
Hornet.
Silk Song character. And I guess Hornet is a early game boss in Hollow Knight.
Yes. Yes. As a matter of fact, I mean, I've seen Hornet type of thing. I mean, as a matter of fact,
that's who you play as in the sequel. Yeah.
Okay. So how Hollow and or Hornet move, and it's snappy, but a lot of work into. Not all platformers feel good. Right, Mario has me spoiled. Mario's mechanics are solid. But I'm all for the 1 pixel difference of jumps and got to be perfect on your timing and platforming. I have no problem with any of that, but I'm just not having fun, and I want to give it a couple dozen more hours just because I want to make sure the problem's not me. Boy, am I not enjoying myself.
And I heard Hollow Knight especially was a very slow opening. It took a while to get into it. Silk Song was less that for me. I did not have that issue, but I heard Hollow Knight was a slow grind at the beginning.
Can Tim go la 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 la? You tell me like where you're at, like what area, or like with some bosses you've recently done?
Okay. I'm horrible about my name. There are at least... Okay, I'm going to use a term that...
Are there acts in the first Hollow Knight?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to use a term, biomes. Like, if I say biomes, do you know what I mean with that, Robby?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, in relationship to the game, yeah.
Yeah, you'll have, like, there's an area that's like the foggy something, biomes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I've gotten through /2... 4 or 5 different biomes. I'm horrible about tracking my progression. And I also, the how long to beat stuff never applies to me because I don't video game quickly. I video game as slow. I mean, I'm very slow and deliberate. To give you a better idea, we were just dancing around the subject. I know the room that Hornet is in, and I think Hornet is the boss for me to go fight, right? Or is a boss that I can go fight right now. And if Hornet is early, then I've spent quite a bit of time, just because it's how I play games, really jumping in. Nope, definitely can't get that ledge. Nope, definitely can't, sword jump up here.
It's kind of fun because I've gone looking for help every now and then, and a lot of the game is so old now that a lot of like the challenge community has sort of come into it. So like I'll look up something like next required mandatory boss to get this skill or something, and then it'll be like, so because apparently you only have to like really fight like 3 bosses in the whole game to win, but of course this is because people have figured that out by this point. So There's like one thing where it's like you need a double jump, but then there's like someone's like, oh, if you pogo with your sword off of this statue right here at exactly the right time, you can get to this area.
Several. Oh, Shiza, I didn't think about pogoing off of some statues and stuff. I might have some new areas that I can get to. I didn't think about that. So, I mean, okay, saying that I'm about to, I can take on Hornet. Just how early in the game am I? Is Hornet really that early of a boss? Again, I don't know.
Well, I don't know how many spoilers how spoilery you want me to be or not be.
As non-spoilery as possible, can you at least give me a feel if I'm about to take on Hornet, if you were to progress through the game and use that as a measurement, along with the 4 to 5 biomes I've already found, where would you guess? 20%?
You're
10%?
Pretty early. Maybe 20%. there's a lot of areas, but you also don't have to go to them all. Like I think there's a couple that I have not visited, and I'm at the last boss.
Okay, that blows my mind as somebody like I Castlevania'd way back in the day, and you don't do anything without exploring like every inch of that castle. So there's biomes that you can all but skip.
Oh my gosh, you can skip like a lot, almost like all of them.
Yeah, I don't think I'm playing this game right.
No, well, no, I think exploring it is one of the funnest parts of the game. Um, but yeah, no, there's like I'm shocked at how many things you can do out of order. It's not a game that demands that you play it in a particular order. Like you can end up all sorts of places very, very early, but you can also skip certain areas. I'm not even really sure which areas are. Pretty sure I've not really done much DLC, if any.
I won't.
So
I won't be. I'm pretty rare or bad about doing DLC in general, and I definitely won't be doing DLC on this game.
yeah, well, and I hear that. So the last boss is like I've fought several times, and I feel like I'm learning it much more quickly than the one that I spent a week on last week. But I do know that the true ending final boss is ranked amongst the hardest video game bosses of all time, and so I've just like have major no thank you.
And that's
me.
okay. You say the true final. Like, is that one of those you got to do 37 different things to unlock, this boss?
I don't know how spoilery this is, or if it's even correct because I haven't done a lot of research. I think like if you upgrade your weapon quite far, then and then beat the last boss, then some extra stuff opens up. I'm not really sure how the varying levels of extra content and DLC do or do not interact. I don't even know, because there's a lot of stuff you can skip in the main game, but I don't even know if the DLC is the kind of thing like a Dark Souls where you have to initiate it in a very particular way or not.
I see.
All I know is that there's a boss
record,
that's harder than the last boss. Yeah, I have the map of the whole game on my phone in the Photos app.
Yeah, see, I just pulled up the map, and looking at the map, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe 15 biomes. And judging by where I see on the map, yeah, I've gotten to about 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 6. I've gotten to 6 different biomes. But again, some of it is I'm getting to. Speaking of the map, I hate that you have to buy a map for every freaking biome, because then I get to a new biome and I'm 3 rooms deep and I press L1, ZL. I don't remember what buttons are labeled on the Switch, but I press the button to pull up the map and I get you haven't bought the map for this area because you haven't offered it to me because I haven't been back to town because I don't die that often.
You got to find your friend with the maps. But then of course you have to pay for the map.
Do you have rosary necklaces in the first one where you can kind of store them?
There's a different kind of currency, but yeah, it's very similar.
You can store them in case you die.
Actually, I found a banker that I could give my money to.
Yeah, there's a banker. It's not as convenient as
the
Silksong. This is the thing, as I don't understand why Silksong is harder, but probably the mid-late game bosses are just really, really challenging. But
Silksong is harder because of the actual mechanics required type of thing. It probably is very specific on that,
But if you can if you can grind more, if you can save your currency, if there are more checkpoints, I feel like I'm much more willing to tolerate higher levels of technical difficulty if I'm not because in Hollow Knight I have done quite some runbacks. I have had to traverse half the map to get back to where I was going before because I can't find a bench anywhere near where I keep dying.
Yeah, I've not had that experience, but yeah, maybe the heights of difficulty are harder, but the overall experience is not. I don't know.
I guess I'll eventually find out because I'm certainly gonna dig into it more later on.
And the map is so obtuse for me. Finding the bug that that you can pay to travel to other distances for fast travel.
Oh, it's so annoying.
It's just, you know what? I'll just go there. I'll walk there. Thanks.
I like the fast travel in Silksong. Silksong fast travel is pretty good.
Yeah, it's easier in Silksong. I've already unlocked a spot or two in Silksong.
Has it, man? Yeah.
It's really obnoxious in Hollow Knight. Really not fun.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
I love that they just in 2 weeks this game's out.
Yeah, that was
that was a baller move.
in 2 weeks after literal years of everybody holding their breath at every announcement, hoping for it. And I love that the answer is we made enough money with Hollow Knight. We just chose to go radio silent and continue to make the game we wanted. And boy, I am so glad that worked out for them. I mean, there wasn't drama. It was just, nope, we were just quiet, making a
And
game.
in those 2 weeks, Hollow Knight shot up the charts as one of the #1 games as well. Interestingly, Hades 2, the first game's on like fire sale for like $6 instead of what Hollow Knight did. It was like we're not putting the first game on sale. We're gonna make money on both of them right now. That's what their approach was, which is a good approach because they knew a lot of people were gonna do that. Yeah.
I need to finish that game also, an unrelated.
Yeah,
note.
Hades 2. Yeah, I heard there's a god.
Well,
mode
I need
to
to the
turn
first
on
one.
to
I
do
need to
that.
finish.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
it's been so long since I played. I'm gonna have to restart it. Not like it's a hard to pick up and remember game. I mean, it's very easy to play with the controls on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do want to restart it because that's another one. It was roguelite and roguelike are quickly becoming some of my favorite genres, and Hades as like a Diablo roguelite, it was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. Beautiful art. I love the character designs and animations for their interpretations of the Greek pantheon. It's just absolutely wonderful. And like I said, I mentioned mentioned in text to you guys, I've got to get Hades 1. They did I think it was limited run, or somebody did a release of Hades 1 for Switch, and I need to get that for my collection.
Yeah, and the Hades 2 cartridge has both the Switch 1 and Switch 2 version on it, which is cool.
I have a question about those.
Yeah. You pop the cartridge in Switch 1. Works.
Okay, but here's my question. Let's pick a different game that way that I know is coming to both, and that way I can talk about this to make sense.
Breath of the Wild has the same ability. You pop in the Switch 2 version. Breath of the Wild works in Switch 1. Metroid Prime 4. You buy the Switch 2 version, it'll work on your Switch 1.
Okay, but if you buy the Switch 1 versions, you have to pay for the upgrade to get the Switch 2 features.
Correct. And it's presumably downloading the Switch 2 I don't know how that actually works because it's probably just
essentially a
download
download pack.
Game.
Yeah. See, here's the deal. I'm torn because like Pokemon Legends Za, obviously I'm going to play that on Switch 2.
Sure. But and it's going to run like crap on Switch 1. So
yeah, I don't care how it runs because like, do you know which version of Breath of the Wild is harder to find, the Switch or the Wii U? Wii U is almost impossible to find.
But it's not that expensive at the same time though, right?
Not for a full copy. I could have sworn it was hard to find and or expensive, or maybe it's just the special edition. But I feel like it's going to be the same thing with Za. It's going to be like, well, of course nobody's going to care about the Switch 1 version of the game.
I think you're very wrong because Switch 1 has an install base of 150 million, and I think it'll sell very good in the first.
I guess because of the install base, that could be. Basically, I'm.
So yeah, you can buy Breath of the Wild on Wii U for like $20 used.
Really? Then I guess maybe it was just the special edition. I'm choosing to look out for my collection. I need to know what the best version and how many versions of the game I'm gonna need to buy are.
Yeah. No. I understand that, but yeah. Late breaking news. Drag X Drive received its first major update just now, version 1.1, and it adds a huge feature: up to 8 players local multiplayer. This is an online-only game. You can now finally play this game locally. I need to figure out
people.
Yeah, it's 4v4 matches. I'm not sure if you need 8 copies, 8 switches, or if there's like split screen. But
yeah, that's what I'm really curious about.
This could be fun for tournaments and stuff, and just getting together with friends and whatnot. So I'm very happy to see that update hit. Yeah.
Is there still a demo for Dragon Drive, or was that just
no? It was a time release thing. Yeah.
I say that because, like, there's still a part of me, when I get a little bit of extra disposable income, I'm probably going to buy the game just because I still love and adore the idea of the representation that I talked about before. But by all accounts and reviews, the game itself is middling at best, and
it's fun, but it's you need the proper setup, and it's like it is very. It's limited as to what it is. I mean, it's just a vastful thing. It's fun though. I'm sure there's like mastery of the controls and stuff that gets interesting.
Yeah.
Um, I've been playing NBA 2K26 on the Switch too. This is a very fun time. I've not played one of these in ages.
You picked that over, what was it, NBA Streets? Isn't that what they announced that was coming? NBA Streets?
Did they? I don't know. But this is like, okay, we got a PS5 same generation kind of version of the game coming to Switch 2. Runs great. A lot of fun. These games are the NBA 2K games. They're very there's like a huge story mode that I'm in, like, and there's like RPG elements, and then there's the franchise mode where you're like going back through eras. Like I've got an offline game where I'm like playing the Michael Jordan team from the 90s, and you're like going through like simulations of those seasons, and like the depth of what's in here is really solid. It's cool.
Tim, I've been meaning to ask, do you actually have any preference on games? It seems like you play anything.
I mean, I play a lot of stuff, but like I was always disappointed on Switch 1. Like the sports games were just ran like crap. But now that like I also got Madden 26, which I thought, you get a portable. It's funny, the portable nature of the Switch is like, I understand why people like these games, especially portably. Like Madden 26 was such a fun 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there kind of break game at work, and you can get through a couple plays, and like I understand why people love these sports games. Like they're very engaging games and very fun. Yeah, I think NBA is the better game than Madden.
Yeah. The only sports games that are like legit sports games I've ever really gotten into are like golf.
Okay, I can see that.
Like I did some Tiger Woods Wii golf back in 2006. That was a really good time. Like a nice rainy day, Sunday afternoon.
Sure.
Just stand up and swing my Wiimote.
Yeah,
hey,
but the NBA 2K game, like the story modes, really there's like cutscenes, and it's very entailed. Like you're playing in Europe as you're working to get into the NBA, and it's really good. I don't know. And the RPG stuff is you're like leveling up your character as to abilities, and I'm very impressed with it's amazing if you haven't played an annual game that gets updated every year. If you play it once a decade, it's like, wow, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you just got to be interested in even trying it once a decade, man. I haven't done sports games. Let's see, my last basketball game was probably NBA Jam back in the heyday.
That's
of
a
NBA
classic.
Jam.
They should bring that one back.
For the record, that's why I mentioned NBA Streets, because it seems like Streets is the spiritual successor to NBA Jam. Now that's a sports game I think I'd probably buy, right?
Sure. Now there are in NBA 2K, you can like unlock these perks where after shooting 5 3-pointers, you're the equivalent to like On Fire, where you unlock for like 3 minutes like better stats for your 3-point shots. So there are like things like that in the NBA game. Yeah. They also dabbled a little bit in the Persona 3 Reloaded demo. People say it doesn't run good, but it's a turn-based game. Seems to run pretty damn well from my experience. I don't know.
Where did you try it?
On Switch 2.
So there's a demo for that?
There's a demo, and the save data will transfer over to the full game when that comes out in like a month or so. Yeah.
I definitely want to give that a try because I've talked about them before. We've all talked about them before. Persona was one of those holes in my video game franchise.
I have it on PS5, but I don't want to play it there. I want to play it on handheld.
Well, I'm just worried because Shin Megami Tensei was up there as one of those franchises that I just had to try, and I understand. I'm starting to understand that Shin Megami Tensei 5, the one that I tried to play, is just considered kind of an empty game. There's not a whole lot to it. But I was kind of disappointed there. So I want to have a demo for Persona before I try and jump in and get disappointed again. So
yeah,
I'm
try the demo.
there's a demo.
It's a good sized demo.
I think they're really different. Persona games have so much more style and personality to me than.
This is also going to sound really stupid. Forgive me. I haven't played Persona. Okay. I know that they're kind of related and have a lot of similarities, but, question number one, I'm going to start with, does Persona have the same demon fusing mechanic? Okay. Does Persona, like Shin Megami Tensei, have the same demon fusing mechanic where you can fuse demons into circles over and over and over with no productivity there? You can turn a higher level demon into a lower level demon if you combine it wrong, and then it just
I'm not sure.
I've never had any issues with it, but I'm also not like that. That part of the mechanic is not the part of the game that I understand the most thoroughly. I usually just like I think in all the ones I've played, you can see the level of what you're gonna create
yeah,
when
you
you.
can, and it took me a little bit to catch that, but that's part of my point. Is, and I'm just going to use random numbers, but you'll get early on, you'll find these 3 level 2 demons you can combine, and they'll make a level 4 demon. But then later, you're going to find a recipe that you can combine this level 12, level 16, and level 15, and make the same level 4 demon. What the hell? I mean, they're completely different demons. It's just, and my problem is because it's just the way that I play these kind of games, like Pokemon. Okay, you're not going to show me a Pokemon without me wanting to catch it. Shin Megami Tensei, Persona, you're going to show me a demon. I need to have it for a minute. I need to breed for it. I need to collect it. I need something. And it just created this loop of, it was like, I felt like I wasn't
Yeah.
getting any worthwhile progress out of it. And it was a whole part of the system that just, is it better to just find random demons and stick with them and ignore all the fusing?
I don't know. I think with that game, since I played through, I think a little bit of it with you last year. I don't think there's that much else in that game
Was
to
that the
really grip
problem?
you. I think that's kind of the problem. Yeah, it's like really just like one of many mechanics in a Persona game. There's like, well, there's time management in Persona
Look,
games.
it's
It's
not
the
my
A.
favorite, but I understand it comes with some games. I can live with it, hopefully.
It's like the A B loop. You've got like the dungeon crawling, monster fighting, and RPG thing, and turn based, which is one thing, and then you've got like the hanging out with your high school buddies thing on the other end of the thing, and you're sort of bouncing back and forth between those two parts of the loop. And then the demon fusing is like one part of the mechanic, but then there's also like so much more in Persona games going on with like matching against the kind of like it's more Pokemon. You're like matching like different strengths
Types.
of certain demons' magic against weaknesses of other um, personas,
Right.
and then getting like chain effect. All of the games have slightly different takes on like how you can sort of like maximize that to become overpowered and sort of like have chain effects and things like that. I don't know. I just sort of like when I really don't like grind on the demon development part of those games. I just sort of like every other
I'm there for
dungeon.
the
I'm just like,
story.
oh,
I'm there for the story. It's fun battling and stuff too, but the stories are
for me,
what
it's the
it's at.
vibes. Those games are so much style first, and then everything else second. For me, like the
Okay,
music is great, the hang
you've
is great.
you've played a lot of the Personas. Have you played a lot of the Shin Megami Tenseis?
Just five.
Okay, so 5 was the only one. Okay, because I just, again, I'm really worried. I was really disappointed with 5 because I've heard just so many great things about the franchise and everything that. So I was just, I don't know how much I want to. I wish I could compare more of what is Persona versus what I was seeing in the one Shin Megami Tensei game I played. I'm just worried. I mean, back in the day, you never knew what you were getting, and so I'm tired of getting duds.
Hey, try the demo.
Yeah, yeah. I'll download that as soon as we're done.
So tell me about Mario Kart World.
Okay, one. Boy, does that get harder way faster than the old Mario Karts did. I mean, like, I've completed all of the 100cc cups
Yeah.
already, but I can tell you, I don't think I ever once before Mario Kart World even had a chance of losing at a 100cc cup. And
They
boy,
nerfed it. They nerfed it too since launch. It's easier than it was at launch.
really?
Yes.
And I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the challenge. Um, I will tell you, I have never once pressed because I haven't even finished getting all my cups yet. Once I get all the cups, then I'll probably go to the free roam mode or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I will say the one mechanic I keep not paying attention to and forgetting about, and it feels like it takes special things to make it possible, aren't there there are times where you can like ride on the walls a little bit? And there are a couple of maps where
Yes.
I've made that work. I don't know if that works on every map, and I don't know if I'm doing something, but they're
I'm not
definitely
great at it, but that is definitely a thing.
yeah.
Have you figured out when to use rewind appropriately?
Okay, I found there was a rewind one time because every time I start a new game, I look at the controller and I press every button on it and see what it does. And I found the rewind button. You know what button is missing though? There's no backwards camera that I've seen.
Isn't it X or no?
Maybe I'll try again. It didn't do it when I was doing
Okay.
it, or maybe I rushed. But either way, I need a backwards camera. It's a Mario Kart is the only game that I care about using that view once in a blue moon on. But as a whole, I'm liking it. I'm enjoying the maps, or the cart, or the maps, the courses.
The
There we go.
rewind
That's
is
it.
such a cool thing to get to avoid blue shells.
I didn't think about trying to avoid them.
Amazing for that. You can
So what do
if
you
you
do?
time it right. Yeah, you time it right, and you won't get hit. And
Okay,
it's faster. It's faster than getting hit. You're going to go backwards, but you won't get hit. You'll keep
Oh, I guess it doesn't. So when you rewind, it's only rewinding.
You.
I've pushed the button one time, so
Yeah,
it
the
only
item
rewinds.
continues onward, and you'll just rewind out of its way. It's pretty nifty. It's great in free roam for if you miss a jump, you can try the jump again, kind of thing.
I wouldn't have even thought about using it in free roam. I would have only thought about using it in the map, man.
Yeah, but yeah, it's great for avoiding blue shells for sure. Knockout tour, how are you finding that?
I haven't tried that yet, actually.
Oh, Jason, that's actually, what makes that game so special.
I'm very interested, but I don't know. For some reason, I really want to 3-star up through 150cc everything first. Like that is my.
That'll take so long, man.
What do you mean? I've done it on every Mario Kart.
Okay, that's pretty difficult sometimes. Yeah.
Done it on every one.
You can 3-star the knockout tours too.
Really?
Yes, they have star ratings too.
Ooh.
And that is a challenge because to get 3 stars on a knockout tour, you have to finish first in every segment of the tour.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that does sound fun. Does Knockout Tour have special courses?
Sort of. Your
variants on the courses,
I actually don't know. You're definitely connecting through to different parts of the map. I don't know if it's different though. I forget. Have you gone the Rainbow Road yet?
Yes.
Was that a cool reveal, like how they showed that the first time?
How they showed it the first time, yes. I appreciated that. I'll be honest with you. I was a little disappointed by the Rainbow Road, though, because as I understood it, and it panned out, excuse me, as I played it, this Rainbow Road was more of a look back and appreciate Rainbow Road over the years, not the emotional trauma that Rainbow Road is meant to be.
Supposed to be emotional trauma? I always enjoyed my Rainbow Road experience.
Oh, Tiny God, Rainbow Road is supposed to make you grip your white knuckles on the steering wheel, trying not to get off the edge every 30 seconds.
I've never had this experience. I'm just a better Rainbow Road racer, I guess. I don't know.
This is the person who was trying to give me crap about 3-starring everything and saying how difficult that's going to be.
I just stay on the track. Who needs, I really enjoyed Rainbow Road. I really hope they add a knockout tour with Rainbow Road included because that's not part of it yet. Probably for spoiler reasons they didn't do that yet, but hopefully.
Is there any way to do the free roaming open world thing with multiplayer yet?
Oh, that you can do that, I thought.
On the same TV, online, both? I'm not sure I know how to do it.
Oh, same TV. You mean 2 people locally with someone else online?
Or even just a friend online.
Yeah, me and you could be in a free room together.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should do that sometime.
Knockout Tour was the thing that was broken and you couldn't do, but now you can.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and I will also say, let's talk about actually both Mario Kart and Hollow Knight for a reason. I do like the Switch 2 with one exception. I have not had normal Joy-Cons on my Switch 1 in a mortal age. And
it's too thin for you.
I used the Hori split pad. Actually, it's not that it's too thin. The exact location of buttons causes weird thumb tension for me, having to keep my thumb bent in a certain spot. I'm probably going to need to get a pro controller, but first thing I'm going to say is, are any of the old, like, for example, I have an 8-bit dough. Do you know if any of the 8-bit doughs will work for it?
With the firmware update, I believe they would.
Because
Have
I'm
you
not
looked
looking at
into
buying
getting
another.
a grip?
I,
Would a grip help you maybe?
a grip might. A grip might. I don't currently.
Because
Because
you
I.
can buy just the Joy-Con part of the kill switch. You can just buy the Joy-Con part. You don't need to buy the whole grip system thing. You can just buy the controller part for
I
like
like how you
$30 or
say that.
something.
Like I know what the kill switch is.
The kill switch, was in the news because they screwed up initially.
The
What
name is
company
somehow
was that?
familiar, but what
What
product you're
company
trying to
was
reference, I'm not. Again, it's
that?
just it's surprising, like especially more on Hollow Knight because I mean, I am like when I play certain precise platformers, like I know that I've had the letters imprinted on my finger from playing too much Super Meat Boy type of thing.
D brand kill switch from D brand.
And what is
So
this?
it's a whole grip system. You can buy just the things for the Joy Cons though. It adds more comfortability for people that are not into it.
Oh, okay. I see them. Yeah. It's possible. And that's just it is the grip, looking at the grip on that kill switch. Actually, I'm not sure that's going to be what I need because that's just making it thicker. I actually need something to a little bit more comfort. Instead of just making it thicker, I need something to a little bit more comfortably turn my hands when I
Mm.
play. Because it
Okay.
feels like because of the way I keep my hands, most of my hand is not on anything, and I've got the grip on it. That it's weird. I didn't think about a grip case though. I might look at a grip case or three and see if that solves my problem.
Yeah, there's some different ones out there.
I've yet to hook it
I've
up to a
never had an
TV.
issue with that stuff, but uh, and I got the gaming pillow, which I'm rather enjoying. That's a game changing thing from Mechanics, I think it's called. And you mount the Switch onto the pillow, and then you
Hmm.
can just have a Joy-Con in each hand as you're playing, and it's such an enjoyable experience that way.
Yeah, I have
You
something
don't have to
similar.
hold the heavy Switch.
Yeah, so heavy.
The Switch 2, it adds up after like for several hours. It
It's
I get
my least
tired.
favorite thing about it. I
Yeah, so
far prefer
the
the form
pillow is
factor.
coming in clutch. The pillow really comes in clutch. Then I pick up the Switch Lite. It's like, oh my god, this feels so good in the hand.
Yeah,
This is how light
still
this
a
is.
little tempted to buy one of those, but I'm gonna hold out for now.
The light's so
Yeah,
good,
I
so
think I want to try and find a good deal on one just to have it for my collection. Um, I still haven't decided for example, I don't have a red Wii, that weird Wii
good.
they
Mm-hmm.
made that I don't know if I want every variant of the different consoles I collect, what I do and don't want, but I do think I need a Switch Lite for my collection.
Switch Lite's a fun device, and you can do save data sync with Nintendo Switch Online, so you can actually like Hades 2. You could probably play that on Switch Lite well as Switch 2 if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, like, you guys seem big on that. I don't think I'm ever going to do that.
No,
I
okay.
I even part of it is even when I like if I have to share my system, all of my family they play on my profile for things. I mean, if they can use my profile and just use a different
Mm.
save or something. I've never been big on the different profiles and everything like that, and especially with Nintendo, who's been really bad about sharing digital things. So it's what little I have digitally. It's not like it's worth having other.
Well, people on different profiles, I believe, can play the games that are on the Switch.
They can. That was actually a bad example, but there's no way to lend, or at least there wasn't before. I know things are
Yeah.
changing.
Now it's much better.
Um,
The key
yes,
card system, or the virtual card thing. I love what they're doing
virtual
with
game
that.
cards. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it's getting better, but because of that, it's just I've not been my thing up until
Gotcha.
now.
Yep. Well, anything else before we wrap it up? It's getting late.
That's it for me. I was just gonna say I gotta bounce.
Yeah. I did see on Threads $600 for the low end Xbox handheld, $1,000 for the high end one. So that you
Woof.
were right, Robbie. Confirmed pricing.
I want to know what the difference is between the low and high. Because these are, if
yeah.
I'm correct, these handhelds are running full Windows. So, I mean,
A
theoretically,
version of it that's
unlike,
optimized.
unlike, say, the Steam Deck, it just gives other options. So, I don't know. Rob, you
Yeah,
said you
old
had to
Game Pass,
bounce.
the old Game Pass there. But yeah, it was rumored at 550, so they definitely increased the price from what it was rumored at. I thought it was rumored at 900. So, yeah, that's expensive for what those are. Yeah.
Very expensive.
Anyways, well, anything you want to promote, Jason, before I wrap it up?
Of course not.
Okay. Anything for you, Robbie? Your podcast?
No.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll be back at some point this fall, I'm sure, for
I'm
another
sure.
episode. Thanks for listening or watching. We'll be back hopefully next month for another one. Bye-bye.
Later.
Always fun, y'all.